Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakal Kodash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the whole for the elect out there, man. You brothers that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman, and this week's topic is going to be entitled "The World is in a State of Civil Unrest." Inspiration for this show comes recently. You have the Yellow Vest over there in France. They're doing another protest and riot over there right now. You see these European nations over there in Europe, as we were speaking about yesterday in the Wednesday lesson, they don't have fluoride in their water. So they're not as sedated or docile as the American people, because the American people, your water has been is contaminated with fluoride, and despite what you heard, fluoride was not used to benefit your teeth. In fact, it actually makes your teeth more yellow. It doesn't make your teeth whiter. It's not an essential mineral for your teeth. That's all completely bullshit. It comes from aluminum. What happened was you had this guy Joseph Stalin realized that when he put fluoride in the water, he could pretty much have over 1,000 people, hundreds of thousands of people controlled with just hundreds of soldiers. So they did that to save money, to keep the people pretty much docile. And ever since they started implementing that in the water system, you've yet to see really riots and protests on that major level in terms of revolution, in America since, all right? But now over there in Europe now, you can't do certain shit. So the civil unrest over there is more broadcasted, not just Europe, but the Middle East as well. You have different nations out there, they're protesting hard. The land of Israel, you have the so-called Palestinians, which the real Palestinians are Hamites. Palestine goes to the Philistines, so the real Palestinians should be the Hamites. But anyways, you got these Arabs over there protesting the land of Israel, quote-unquote a free Palestine. Any particular country you're going to, Yemen, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, you have civil unrest everywhere. And on here, you have it on a low level. All right, you don't see us. You don't see people in America really turn this shit over, because anytime a movement gets started, it gets infiltrated by the FBI, such as the quote-unquote Black Lives Matters. The Black Lives Matters was set up on some bullshit, but you had sincere people that was amongst that, and it pretty much got infiltrated. And these different groups that get set up, they might set them up, and you have sincere people try to go and protest what's going on, such as the cops shooting down Jake, which is just a fulfillment of Zechariah 11 and 5, that the possessors would slay us and hold themselves not guilty. Now, the shit that they doing now, if it happened in the 90s, they beat the shit out of Rodney King and got all scot-free. But now they're doing worse, and they're doing it more often. You got Jakes being shot with their hands up behind their back. And they might walk in the streets, whatever, but they're not really getting aggressive violent, because the American people are more docile. Now, I'm not saying for you to go out there and be aggressive violent, because Romans the 13th chapter tells us to be, not to be in that type of spirit of trying to take this man down ourselves physically. According to the book of Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter, the Lord told us to be patient and wait upon him. What I'm saying is this: the world is in a state of civil unrest. And that's in the book of Proverbs, all right? We got to understand the root of the problem. The root of the problem is the so-called white man, all right? In the Bible, he's referred to the nation of Edom, or Esau, all right? He's a nation of Edom, and he deprived from Esau, okay? So it tells us that when a few things make the earth is disquieted for, the earth trembles for. And one of those things that was mentioned is when you make a servant rule. All right, and we know that Esau was created to serve. Now, you put a servant in the role of a king, it tells you those things is going to make the earth disquieted. This guy, this devil, he's not ruling as a true king would. All right, the people are in a state of aggression. The people are in a state of tumult. Why is that? The scripture says, "Oppression maketh a wise man mad." Right, and the scriptures also say, "With much knowledge comes much grief." When you understand what's going on behind the scenes, that you think you're going out there to vote for a particular person, but they're actually controlled by different puppets. Who controls these different central banks? The fact that when you understand that you're being oppressed, you get pissed off. I mean, the American people, again, we already said it, they got that fluoride in their system, which is nothing more than witchcraft, what they call alchemy, all right? But the reason we're immune to that because the scripture says there's no enchantments against Jacob, because we've been drinking fluoride water, tap water our whole damn lives, but we still was able to get this truth because there's no enchantments against Jacob. The Most High, even though most people got their pineal glands decalcified, the Most High, for the ones that He called, Lord willing, we have the chosen as well. That's not going to affect us, all right? But the majority of those people, they're affected, man. That's how come you see Jake in this docile, dumbass, rap party, smoke weed, eat Cheetos type spirit, man. They don't want any type of thing to uprise. They'd rather just sleep and, just see what's in front of them. They don't see the larger picture. Hey, but that's fine. 2/3 are going to perish anyway. But at the end of the day, when you stick to prophecy, the Most High is going to trick something to the point that these tumults that you see it's happening globally right now in the smalls, but it's still happening globally, it's only going to intensify, all right? As the white man gets more wicked and more cruel and more devious, thanks to the internet, all right, which is a unicorn, all right? And the internet's also mentioned in the book of Psalms, the 29th chapter, I believe. Knowledge is being increased throughout the entire world. Everybody's realizing that the news that you see on TV is bullshit, and they're doing something, listening to something called alternative media or alternative investigative journalism, all right? And real news, international news such as Russia Today, Al Jazeera, people are finding that, wait a minute, my government, all right, is trying to put out disinformation. I'm going to look up the information on my own. And people are doing this, and this is why there's so much riots, there's so much protest. This is all the doings of the Heavenly Father. And you should expect things to intensify, because as it is written in Isaiah 55:11 and Isaiah 14 and 24, the Most High words shall not return unto him void, and as He has spoken, so shall it come to pass. And what were some of those things spoken? When you read Matthew, the 24th chapter, it speaks about wars, rumors of wars. The book of 2nd Ezra also tells us about tumults and all these things that's going to lead up to the second days. There's still prophecies yet to be fulfilled, all right? So we're seeing a low level of that, but the tumults that's happening around the world, and wait for them to intensify. Wait for them to intensify, because the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, is going to implement it. You're going to see race riots. Everything that we mentioned, that we're prophesying about, we're seeing right now on a low level. All right, we're seeing a small level of persecution amongst the brothers. People are putting our information out there on the internet, making us infamous on a low level. But soon, hey, don't be surprised when you're going to see a name on your face on big time news, and they're slandering you, saying you're a terrorism, using these videos against you, chopping up all types of shit. Heavy persecution is gonna come upon us. But we get a low level of that. The same way you've seen a low level of tumult all throughout the world. That's how come we keep saying that these prophets are gonna turn up. They're popping off like popcorn, as the apostles would say, but they're also gonna turn the fuck up. This is a year of prophecy, and we've seen many prophecies come to pass. And guess what? Next year is gonna be even more prophecies and wars and more. And from the outside looking in, an average goer, an average person, if they're worried, they're thinking about these things, they see it, all right? Average people in the world see it. They see what the fuck is going on. They see that the countries are collapsing. They see all these different, what they would think in their mind is negative things happening. But we, the men of understanding, the apostles, the brothers, we understand that what? It just means that our salvation is nearer than it seems, pursuant to the book of Romans, the 13th chapter and 11th verse. All right? So, yeah, you have the yellow vest over there protesting France. Okay? You have protests going on, and pretty much and another thing too is it's so intensified that you might have people protesting against other countries. So the Most High is building up that hate. The Most High is setting the stage, and the Spirit got him in to do the show, so that we could see that, man, the things that as prophesied in the Bible are taking place. Though you might not see it right in front of you. You go into your day, you don't see people throwing Mazeltov bombs in liquor stores and shit like that, but it's gonna get there. It's gonna get even worse. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. The belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, which you well, and citation to the whole for the elect out there, man. You brothers that sincerely do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Akim, the prophecies are popping off. Stay in the international news, and hey, stay strong on this truth, man. Shalom.